As China and Malaysia celebrate the golden jubilee of diplomatic relations, Chinese Premier Li Qiang is visiting Malaysia. Since 2009, China has been Malaysia's largest trading partner for 15 consecutive years, while Malaysia is China's second largest trading partner within ASEAN. How have the ties remained resilient? Also, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has said he will not get caught up in China-US geopolitical tensions and be pressured into picking sides. What is guiding Malaysia's foreign policy, and what do Malaysian people make out of the current global order? I'm pleased to be joined from Kuala Lumpur by Ong T. Keat, President of the Belt and Road Initiative Caucus for Asia Pacific. He is the former Federal Transport Minister of Malaysia. Mr. Ong, always a pleasure to have you on the show. So, in his congratulatory message to Malaysia's King Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, Chinese President Xi Jinping said that China and Malaysia are neighbors with millennia of friendship, friends whose hearts are connected, and partners for win-win cooperation. What makes this relationship tick?
Well, actually, the strong ties between Malaysia and China went beyond 50 years. The history of interaction between the two peoples could be traced back to as early as the 1st century AD. The enduring enmity developed over centuries has laid the strong foundation for the bilateral ties between the two nations. Since 1974, when the second Malaysian Prime Minister, the late Tun Abdul Razak Hussein, sought to reach out to China proactively in his bid to tow the bilateral relations against the headwind of ideological face-off amid Cold War. In 1971, the founding leaders of ASEAN, actually, they were then keen to create such a zone free from any manner or form of interference by outside powers and broaden the areas of cooperation. I think this is crucial. It is still relevant until today. And Tun Razak managed to blaze the trail in ASEAN when the Chinese Communique of Bilateral Relations was inked in May 1974. And this helped shape the trajectory of diplomacy between China and the rest of ASEAN later, when more member states of ASEAN followed the footsteps of Malaysia. And if I may cite one more example, is this. The relations were further enhanced after the cessation of Cold War in 1990, when Malaysia was instrumental in linking China to ASEAN. And this was made possible when the then Foreign Minister of China attended the ASEAN ministerial meeting upon the invitation of Malaysia as a host in 1991, thereby precipitating the engagement of China as ASEAN's dialogue partner. So this again, if we were to fast track to the year 2021, 30 years later. Now, it had later been evolving into the comprehensive strategic partnership between China and ASEAN. So you can see here, this by itself is a strategic move in integrating China with the entire ASEAN through the effort of Malaysia.
Yeah, indeed, it's a time-honored relationship. Now, let's fast forward to 2024. In a recent interview, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said that he will not get caught up in China-US geopolitical tensions and be pressured into picking sides. A very important statement, basically speaking the mind of a lot of countries in the region and elsewhere. How does Malaysia balance its relations with these two countries? Does Malaysia feel any pressure from China like it does from the United States to pick a side?
Well, so far I can tell you honestly, Malaysia so far feels no pressure at all from China. And Malaysia holds the view that now we are here to commit to upholding the non-aligned foreign policies, even at the height of Cold War. And this explains why Malaysia reached out to China proactively as early as 1974. And as a sovereign state, albeit small in size, we are entitled to our rights of choice in diplomacy, as well as in determining our model of development. Malaysia, we have our strength, and we have to take care of our people's well-being and aspiration of the nation, and nothing more than.
What gives Malaysia the courage and ability to say no?
Well, in fact, this is the real test to our determination. Of course, we have to strike the right balance. And so far, all nations across the region, or even the world, are aware that Malaysia, we have our independent foreign policies. And we make friends with all big powers, not just China. In the case of the United States, we have been wooing their investment as well. We are not interested at all to be caught in the web of zero-sum psyche of any external powers.
Last year, Chinese car maker BYD was the best-selling EV brand in Malaysia, and just last week, Proton, which is a Malaysian car maker backed by Chinese Geely Group, has rolled out Malaysia's first EV brand called e-MaaS. How do you look at the prospects of EV development or Chinese EV sales and investment in Malaysia? And what is your comment to the so-called overcapacity or Chinese, unfair practices distorting international markets when it comes to EVs that's labeled by some Western politicians?
EV, or new energy vehicles, is one of the new key areas of our economic thrust. And we have to admit that we are still a new kid on the block as far as this EV industry is concerned. But in pursuit of the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, certainly Malaysia is in dire need for such vehicles. Enter the Malaysian market prior to turning the country into a production base for the new energy automakers once we are ready. Of course, we do understand that this is not going to be easy. This is going to be a trajectory full of challenges. And China, having been well equipped with the technology in industry, can consider this as one of the new drivers for economic cooperation in Malaysia. In respect, the existing cooperation between Geely and DRB Highcom in producing our national car has set a very strong footing for the future production of new EVs in Malaysia. And I'm hopeful that this would become a reality soon in Malaysia.
Finally, we talk about tourism and visa. Now, China is already the largest source of tourists for Malaysia. And China has also extended its visa-free policy for Malaysians till the end of next year. How attractive is China for Malaysian tourists?
Well, of course, now that the tourist operators in Malaysia, well, they are relieved to see such a change in the policies, particularly after the granting of visa-free status to tourists from both countries. And I was told that Malaysia is now one of the top 3 preferred destinations for the Chinese tourists in the region. And of course, this is one of the constructive ways for us to nurture our enduring relations between the two countries. Certainly, we need to enlighten our people more now on the history, on the culinary delights, on the lights and sounds of cities in both countries. And so far, I do observe that the culinary delights of mainland China all of a sudden has become so popular in Malaysia. particularly among the youngsters. And this is something I would say never before in the history. And I hope to see that the same were to happen in China as well.
Yeah, we have to leave it there. Time has run out. But I tell you, Mr. Ong, we are coming as a family to Malaysia for summer holiday. We're planning to do that, so I'm very excited about it. And I want to say, yeah, welcome to China for all the tourists thinking about visiting the Chinese mainland. Really, we hope to see more Malaysians here. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Ong T. Keat, President of the Belt and Road Initiative Caucus for Asia Pacific.